So it is the next day. I'm picking up the camera. It's actually afternoon already, and my one goal today is to make strawberry jam. So I don't really have a bunch of other things I'm trying to get done, or at least not this afternoon. This afternoon I want to try to make jam with you guys, and it's going to be a trial and error thing. I've never done this before, but I am using my mother-in-law's recipe, so I'm hoping it goes pretty good. Before I jump into the whole jam making thing, I wanted to take a minute to thank Dossier for sponsoring this portion of the video. Dossier is a company I really enjoy working with, and if you have not heard of them before, they're a company that produces quality perfumes, and their price is really affordable and budget friendly, especially for what you get. So here in PA, it is starting to warm up and spring is on its way, which is such a huge blessing. So I'm looking for anything springy, or yeah, any hints of spring that I can add to my wardrobe or to my collection. So I'm currently trying Dossier's Oriental Sage scent, and this is a great scent. It has kind of like a spring, a bright like tone, smell to it. I really love it. So a couple things about Dossier is that they do not use colorant in their perfume. So as you can see, it does not have a color in it other than what they use to make the perfume. And they also are phthalate free and paraben free. They don't use UV filters. They also source their ingredients straight from France, and they have quite a line of women's perfumes, men's colognes, and unisex scents as well, which I really love their unisex scents because it's something that I can either get for my husband or for me, depending which one of us likes the scent the best, or we can both use it. I find that really, really nice. So if you need some spring scents to add to your wardrobe before summer hits, Dossier has a code and a link for you guys that I'm gonna leave in the description box. You can use that to get a discount on your order. Also, Dossier offers free shipping when you purchase 3 or more bottles of their perfumes. So definitely get your free shipping and save a little bit of money on the shipping end of things. And I know you will enjoy their perfumes as much as I have. So thanks again, Dossier, for sponsoring this part of the video. I'm gonna hop back to my jam making, and hopefully this will turn out for us, and yeah, we can kind of have a fun experience. So if you caught my last video, you know that this was actually one vlog that I split into 2 videos, and just because of the size and all that good stuff. But anyways, I started out by capping my strawberries until I got a bowl full, and then I will tell you here in a second what I did next. So next I went through and sliced some of them. I didn't think I'd have to do this, but I realized that it would be pretty hard to crush the berries when they were whole. And you'll see in a second what I used to crush them. I actually used like a potato masher because I wasn't really sure what to use. And I'm just gonna be honest, if I could redo this, I would actually use like one of those handheld choppers. Either you press down on top, or like Tupperware has like a pull string one, which is what I have. But if I could redo this, that's what I would use, because I think it would give my berries like a lot finer. It would chop them finer or whatever, as opposed to crushing them and still having all the skins and stuff. So I guess it's up to you how you want to do it. If you want more of like the chunky berries in your jam, or if you want it really pureed, you could even use a blender. But I would definitely recommend like a hand chopper would be fine. It would be super simple because it would just break them down more than what like chopping them with like a masher or crushing them does. So after I had them crushed and measured out here in my saucepan, I added in the shore gel. And just a little tip for you guys, you'll see in a second, choose a bigger saucepan. Like if your berries are almost to the top, you want one where you have like just as much space on top as you do berries below. So you want your berries to only fill up like half of it, because once it gets to a boil, it's gonna come over if your kettle's as full as mine did, which you'll see, mine did. But anyways, just add your shore gel to the top, give it a stir, and turn up the heat on your pan to let it boil. While my my strawberries were heating, I brought over my jars to begin getting ready to fill. But as you can see, the strawberries are already releasing a lot of juice to make a really good jam. So I thought I'd just take a quick second to show you what I'm putting my jam into. So the recipe from my mother-in-law says you can either freeze it or you can just put it hot into jars and it will seal on its own. So that's what I'm going to try to do because I'm trying to save freezer space, because we are actually getting a cow here in like a month or so. It's not a huge cow, but it's gonna be big for our family. So I actually had a friend that was saving her baby jars like from baby food, and she was just gonna pitch them because she wasn't gonna end up using them for the project that she was going to. Does that make sense? Sorry. Anyways, so I was like, hey, if you're just gonna throw them, I'll take them and use them for a jam. They're really cute. I did not take the labels off, but they're like a perfect little size for our family. And then I also have 2 jars from like a mustard dip that are a pretty good size, like as in not too big. So I'm gonna use those as well, and hopefully those work good. But I hear my stuff boiling, so I gotta get back to it real quick and put the sugar on. And yeah, I think it'll soon be done. So once my strawberries and sugar gel started boiling, I added in my sugar, and definitely don't skimp on the sugar because that's gonna help the thickening of your jam. And so yeah, I added that in, gave it a good stir. I should have transferred kettles right here, but I didn't, and yeah, that's my fault. But definitely know for next time to go with a way bigger kettle so I have more room to stir and do all that jazz. First lesson learned, always go with a bigger kettle than you think you're gonna need. Mine, yeah, made quite the mess. I'm pretty sure it boiled long enough because I couldn't stir it down, and that's what the recipe says. So we're gonna go with it, and it's a little bit like thicker than what I would have wanted, but I think that's my fault for not crushing the berries enough either. We'll see. So I'm getting ready to ladle it into jars. It just has to sit for like a minute here off the heat. Actually, just gonna move it back on here. So anyways, I'm gonna let it sit. Oh my goodness. Anyhow, I'm gonna let it sit here with the burner off, as it smells terrible and smokes, and I'm gonna fill up these jars then as soon as my minute is up. So another tip I have would be, do not be afraid to let your jam boil for a good minute, even 2 minutes. All it's gonna do is help your jam thicken better. I don't think I let mine boil enough, and so it didn't get quite as thick as I was hoping for. I also think I could have maybe put a little bit more sugar gel in, but it's okay. It still turned out great. The flavor is amazing, and these little jars actually worked really well. They didn't end up sealing, which I should have known that. I should have looked at the lids more closely and known that they would not seal. But they're the perfect size for our family, and they honestly do not take up a lot of space in the freezer. So they're great just to pull out a little jar to have in the fridge. And as you can see, the bits of strawberry did not get quite as dissolved as I was hoping. But like I said in the beginning, I think I would use a chopper next time, and it didn't affect the taste at all. Another tip for you, if you're like a first-time canner or haven't done it much, is especially when you're doing sweet things, wipe the rims of your jars. These ones with the blue lids did seal because that was like a jar with a lid that was sealable. But make sure you wipe the rims so you have no sugar, no sticky residue, nothing to stop the lid from adhering to your jar and creating a nice tight seal that can affect how well your jars seal. So I wiped down the rim and just kind of the grooves, everything of the jar. That way I knew that the lid was on good and tight, and there was nothing preventing the lid from sealing nice to the jar. Excuse the mess behind me from making jam, but I got all of them in jars. Now I'm kind of not sure if these type of jars are gonna seal, so we'll see. And if they don't, it's no problem. I really can stick them in the freezer. I was just trying to conserve a little bit of space. So either way, it's still gonna be a win. But we shall see if they seal or if they don't. It was actually super easy, and there's definitely some things I'll do differently next time. And I think I need to get like one of those like chopper things with the little squares. Like, it's a round disc and has a bunch of little squares. It definitely does a better job of like chopping things up or like smushing them than what I have. So that's one thing I will change for next time. But they look super cute and nice. and they're a little sticky yet, and I did not take the labels off the jars just because I didn't feel like standing and trying to get the sticky residue off. But overall, it turned out great and it was lots of fun. So I think I'm gonna try maybe some other types of jam in the future if I can find some produce that is at a good price, or even in this upcoming summer. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here, but thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I will leave the recipe for the jam down in the description box, so if you guys want to make some or this upcoming summer, you can use it to make your own as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week in my next video. Bye guys.